Hey guys, I'm going to be talking about some of the absurdities of gun control because there's a lot of very dumb thoughts out there. Uh, but you have all these liberal anti-gunners and they say that firearms kill people and we shouldn't have firearms because if we don't have any firearms then people can't kill each other, which is really stupid because people have been killing each other with knives and swords and crap for thousands of years, you know? None of that's gonna change. I mean, heck, Cain killed Abel with, like a club or something. But I just got some statistics here, and I think it's really interesting that in the last 7 years, and the FBI, I'm just gonna go ahead and say that the FBI documents any mass shooting as a shooting where at least 4 people are killed. So 4 or more people, that means mass shooting to the FBI. So in the last 7 years, there have been 900 people killed. An estimated 900 people killed by mass shootings. So that's the last 7 years. But these same people who say, oh, 900 people have been killed, not even children, just 900 people who have been killed, we need to like ban guns to prevent that. And then they say it's perfectly okay to kill unborn children in abortion. And yes, I'm going to bring up abortion in this gun control argument because I feel it's really relevant here to kind of outline or underline the hypocrisy of the anti-gun movement. And it's really not a movement to try to take guns away from people. I really do believe it's this kind of ideology that, you know, government's the answer for everything, government will take care of us, government knows best. It's really that sort of thing. And that it's just a bunch of irrational fear against firearms. So, in the last 7 years for abortions, an estimated 5,820,180 babies have been murdered before they were born. And that's just appalling to me. 900 people, not just babies or anything. 900 people have been shot, okay? And it's not even the gun's fault. It's the person pulling the trigger. It's their fault, okay? And then 900 people were killed compared to almost 6 million unborn innocent children being killed. What is the greater crime? Would you rather ban... If you really cared about children, you wouldn't have these people like Moms Demand Action or whatever, that lunatic group, and Michael Bloomberg and everything. They'd be outside abortion clinics with their little picket fences saying, end abortion now, save the children. Instead, you see them going after firearms, which aren't even the problem. You see them going after guns because they have this irrational fear against firearms. Whereas, and I probably should have done the math here, but like a gazillion times more babies are murdered by abortion. It's hypocrisy. And then, you know, people say, oh, well, in America, we don't have to fear anything because, you know, it's America. None of that stuff's going to happen here. Nazi Germany, no, that can't happen here. Well, newsflash, Germany had a constitutional republic after whatever the king or what's his face was, after World War I. They had a constitutional republic. But guess what? Hitler still took power, and World War II was a thing. So... Fun fact, in the 20th century, an estimated 169,202,000 people were killed by various governments. That is amazing. But they still believe that we should put our faith in government because government knows best for us. They have this irrational fear that guns somehow kill people and that if I take my big, black, scary AR-15 here, alright, there's not even a round in the chamber. I've got my scary 30-round standard capacity magazine here, full of 5.56, which is not even the best ammo out there. Alright, if I take this gun right here, this will just randomly start killing people, apparently, because they blame the gun, not the person. Alright, you don't see people demonizing, who's the shooter at Aurora or whatever, or the guy at Sandy Hook, or the Virginia Tech massacre. You don't see them demonizing them. In fact, the media kind of glorifies them because they put their name out there, and that's why these psychos do it, because it becomes some kind of sick competition to see who can go out in the biggest blaze of glory or some crap. They want to see who can kill the most people, alright? So, you instead see cries for gun control. Take away the AR-15s. It's a horrible weapon of war that only soldiers and governments should have. You know, people can't responsibly have these guns. Well, newsflash, I'm 16 and I have an AR-15. Have I ever killed anybody? No. Will I ever kill anybody? God forbid I don't have to, but if somebody's trying to take my life, I will defend myself and do whatever I have to. Alright, this weapon will just not go out and start shooting people. Alright, this is a scary age where we have this new Democratic Party. It's not what it was. I mean, it was progressive and all that crap back in this, like 70 years ago. Ever since with Harry Truman and just a whole bunch of horrible stuff. Basically, the last 100 years, the party's become very progressive and socialist, but they never have gone for our guns as bad as they are going now. And it's really scary, because if this were the 1940s, I'm gonna, people say, oh, this has an adjustable stock, it's evil. This has a pistol grip, it's evil. This has a detachable magazine, it must be evil. I have my backup iron sights that flip up and down. That makes it easier to shoot, must be evil. You have your flash hider. Nobody needs a flash hider, because why would you want to hide your flash of your shot and everything? And it's a bunch of silly stuff, so they make arguments like that. Alright, well, if this were the 1940s, the same argument would go. Let me grab my 1937 Mosin Nagant right here. They'd be saying stuff like, look at this tactical hand grip right here that's carved out of the stock. Nobody needs that. It makes guns easier to shoot. You should just have the flat stock, because people can grip that. Look at this tactical steel butt plate. It helps, with the recoil. I mean, I guess it really doesn't, but they'd be saying it does. Look at this tactical straight pull bolt. It makes it so much easier to work the bolt faster than if you had a bent bolt. Look at this tactical adjustable sights. It makes the gun more deadly. Look at this bayonet. Not only when you run out of ammo, now you can start stabbing people so they die. It's absurd, but this would be the argument that they'd be making. Look at this internal 5-round magazine. Nobody needs 5 rounds to defend yourself. It's absurd. So, I mean, guns change, but the Second Amendment does not. The Second Amendment is very clear that it's the right of the people to keep and bear arms. It didn't say arms that shoot only once. Back when the Second Amendment was adopted, people could own a warship if they could afford it and whatnot. If they wanted to prevent us from certain weapons, they'd say the right of the people to keep and bear maybe small arms and not like tanks or anything, because people today have their own tanks. People today have their own airplanes that you can fit out. People today, I mean, these are like, of course, rich people, or you get really cheap tanks. It doesn't matter. It's still a tank or whatever. But going back to the gun argument, people say that this gun can start randomly killing people, and this is just a Glock 17 9mm hollow points. Okay, I can set this gun right here by the camera. Alright, I could sit here all day, and that gun will not shoot me. You know what, let me take the magazine out, because there's apparently they think the guns load themselves too. Alright, so magazine's out. Will the gun shoot me? No. Now, let's put the magazine in, and heck, let's even chamber around into this Glock 17. Alright? Alright, go on, Glock, shoot me. Come on, I'm waiting. It's not gonna happen. You know why? You have to have somebody behind the trigger. You have to have someone behind the gun actually pulling the trigger for the gun to do anything. We have a people problem, ladies and gentlemen, not a gun problem. This right here, this AR-15, is my God-given right. And people are saying, oh no, God says thou shalt not kill. Well, God approves of self-defense, definitely, and war. Anybody who's ever opened a Bible will know that. And I have a Bible verse right here that I have not memorized, but it is Luke chapter 22, verse 36, and Jesus said, Then he said unto them, But now he that hath a purse, let him take it, and likewise his pack. And he that hath no sword, let him sell his garment and buy one. That's pretty clear. Jesus basically told them that you need to buy a sword if you don't have one, so you can defend yourself. Well, guess what? This is my sword, alright? This is my God-given right to defend myself and anything that I have against not only people who are trying to take, like, people who are breaking into my house or anything, but also, newsflash, my government. Because that's part of the reason we have the Second Amendment too. Because our founding fathers realized that we needed weapons that our government has, so that would keep our government in check. Because I shudder to think of what our government might be right now if we didn't have the Second Amendment. And I think our founding fathers were really, really smart in adding the Bill of Rights and, the first 10 amendments and everything. But the gun control argument's a very scary thing, and I can't believe there are people who actually think that disarming the American people will somehow make America a better place. Guess what? Chicago has some of the toughest gun laws in the country. You'd think that Chicago would be some kind of liberal, utopian society where everybody gets along, they have their little socialist parties and stuff, and they all, whatever, and nobody ever dies there because it's a perfect place. Well, guess what? Alright, more people have died in Chicago in the same amount of time than people who've died in Iraq and Afghanistan combined. Right? From gun violence, yeah, but I mean, supposedly there are gun laws and stuff that's supposed to keep this from happening, right? I mean, people for a long time were prohibited from even having like pistols, and you can't have like certain capacity magazines there. Any crap, you can't carry guns, whatever. All right, they basically there was no Second Amendment there, but yet somehow they still had the highest gun crime in the country. You do the math, you figure it out. Now, I understand that most of this argument is going to be in vain because, as we know, at least people who know how to think for themselves, they know that liberals don't exactly like facts because facts do this nasty little thing. You know, they pop these utopian bubbles that these liberals love to believe in. They just have these little fantasy dreams that are where everybody can get along, the government knows best. Well, guess what? That is not the real world. The real world is a scary place, and liberals do not want to admit that. It is because of people like our soldiers and American patriots and the Second Amendment, most importantly. Well, up there with soldiers. Soldiers are extremely important, and I respect them a lot. Anybody who risked their life is an awesome person. Anybody who risked their life for our country. All right? But the only reason liberals are even free to think the things they think is because of the Second Amendment and our soldiers. So, I understand that this video would do little to nothing to convincing the minds of those who are so staunchly involved in the anti-gun movement, like Shannon Watts, Moms Demand Action, Michael Bloomberg, Barack Obama. Alright, I understand these words will fall on a lot of deaf ears, but I hope that at least I can convince a few people that guns are not evil, people are. Well, thank you for watching this video. If you like to, go ahead and leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you want. Share this video with your anti-gun friends. Share it with your pro-gun friends. It doesn't matter. Just do whatever you want with this video. But thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next time. So.